Join our family of creators. Your support means the world to us. Subscribe now to the Content Creator channel. Your support keeps us motivated and helps us bring you fresh, exciting content every week. Hit that subscribe button and be part of our journey. Title: Under the Radar Global Events, April 2025. Welcome to our weekly roundup of significant global developments that may have flown under the radar. This week, we're taking a closer look at Russia's potential willingness to engage in peace talks regarding the ongoing conflict in Ukraine, but the conditions Moscow is setting are raising eyebrows across the globe. We'll also delve into record-breaking global military spending, the ongoing legal battle surrounding the Gaza blockade, a devastating explosion at a critical Iranian port, and much more. Title: Russia signals readiness for Ukraine talks, with major conditions. The Kremlin sent shockwaves through the international community by suggesting a potential openness to peace talks with Ukraine. This announcement has caught many by surprise, given the ongoing hostilities and the deep-seated mistrust between the two nations. The international community is watching closely, hoping for a breakthrough but remaining cautious. But the caveats attached to this offer have many fearing this is more about propaganda than genuine diplomacy. Analysts are skeptical, suggesting that Russia's conditions are designed to be unacceptable to Ukraine, thereby shifting the blame for any failed negotiations. Russia is insisting on several preconditions, including the recognition of what it calls the new territorial realities in Ukraine, essentially demanding Kyiv cede control of the regions Moscow illegally annexed last year. These regions are of significant strategic and economic importance, making this demand particularly contentious. Unsurprisingly, this demand has been met with a swift rejection from Ukraine and its Western allies. NATO and the European Union have both issued statements condemning Russia's preconditions, emphasizing that any peace talks must respect Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. President Zelensky reiterated his stance that any talks are contingent upon Russia withdrawing its forces from all Ukrainian territory. He has been firm in his position, stating that Ukraine will not negotiate under duress or accept any terms that compromise its territorial integrity. The Trump administration has expressed deep skepticism over Russia's intentions, suggesting Moscow is simply attempting to buy time to regroup its battered military. U.S. officials have pointed out that similar tactics have been used by Russia in the past to stall for time while continuing their military operations. Germany has also voiced its disapproval, with Chancellor Scholz stating that Russia cannot expect to redraw borders by force and then dictate the terms of peace. He emphasized that any lasting peace must be based on international law and mutual respect, not on coercion and aggression. Title: Global military spending hits record high. A new report by the Stockholm International Peace Research Institute, SEPRI, reveals that global military expenditure has reached an all-time high. Countries around the world spent a staggering $2.24 trillion on their militaries in the past year, marking a 3.7% increase from the previous year. This surge is fueled by heightened geopolitical tensions, ongoing conflicts, and a pervasive sense of insecurity. The United States remains the world's top military spender, accounting for nearly 40% of the global total, followed by China. Europe, rattled by the war in Ukraine, has also witnessed a significant uptick in military spending. Title: International Court of Justice hears case on Gaza blockade. The International Court of Justice, ICJ, has begun hearing arguments in a case brought by the Palestinian Authority against Israel, challenging the legality of the long-standing blockade of the Gaza Strip. This case marks a significant moment in international law as it addresses the complex and contentious issues surrounding the blockade. The Palestinian Authority alleges that the blockade, in place since 2007, constitutes collective punishment and violates international law. They claim that the blockade has severely restricted the movement of goods and people, leading to widespread suffering among the civilian population. They argue that the restrictions have crippled Gaza's economy and exacerbated the humanitarian crisis. The blockade has led to shortages of essential supplies, including food, medicine, and fuel, making daily life extremely difficult for the residents of Gaza. Israel maintains that the blockade is a necessary security measure to prevent Hamas from smuggling weapons into Gaza. They argue that lifting the blockade would pose a significant threat to Israeli security, as Hamas has a history of launching attacks against Israel. The case has drawn significant international attention, with both sides garnering support from different quarters. Media coverage has been extensive, highlighting the global interest in the outcome of this legal battle. The Palestinian Authority's case is backed by numerous human rights organizations in several countries. These supporters argue that the blockade is a violation of human rights and call for its immediate end to alleviate the suffering of the people in Gaza. Israel has the support of the United States and other Western powers, who argue that the ICJ is not the appropriate forum to resolve the complex political issues at play. They believe that the matter should be addressed through direct negotiations between the parties involved, rather than through international litigation. Chapter 4. Tragedy struck the Shahid Raja'i port in southeastern Iran, when a powerful explosion ripped through a cargo ship docked at the facility. The blast left at least 20 people dead, and dozens more injured. Iranian officials have attributed it to an industrial accident and ruled out sabotage. However, the incident has raised serious concerns about safety protocols at Iranian ports and industrial facilities. The explosion comes at a sensitive time for Iran, grappling with economic sanctions and international pressure over its nuclear program. Chapter 5. A delegation from the International Atomic Energy Agency, IAEA, arrived in Tehran for technical discussions with Iranian officials regarding Iran's nuclear program. The visit comes amid heightened tensions between Iran and the West over Tehran's nuclear ambitions. The IAEA has raised concerns about Iran's lack of transparency regarding its uranium enrichment activities. Iran maintains that its nuclear program is entirely peaceful, and that it is committed to cooperating with the IAEA. The outcome of the technical talks could have significant implications for the future of the Iran nuclear deal. Chapter 6. The world mourned as Pope Francis, the spiritual leader of the Catholic Church, was laid to rest in a solemn ceremony at St. Peter's Basilica in Vatican City. The atmosphere was heavy with grief and reverence as thousands gathered to honor his memory. Millions of mourners from around the globe flocked to Rome to pay their respects to the beloved pontiff, who passed away at the age of 81. The streets of Rome were filled with people holding candles, praying, and sharing stories of how Pope Francis touched their lives. World leaders, dignitaries, and representatives from various religious denominations joined the faithful in bidding farewell to the charismatic and progressive Pope. His influence extended far beyond the Catholic Church, touching the hearts of people from all walks of life. Francis's papacy was marked by his humility, his commitment to social justice, and his efforts to build bridges between different faiths. He was often seen interacting with the marginalized, advocating for the poor, and calling for global unity. He will be remembered for his compassion, his warmth, and his unwavering belief in the power of dialogue. His smile and gentle demeanor left a lasting impression on everyone he met. As the cardinals prepare to elect his successor, the question on everyone's mind is who will step into his shoes and how they will navigate the challenges facing the Church. The legacy of Pope Francis sets a high bar for the next leader, who will need to continue his mission of compassion, inclusivity, and reform. Chapter 7. Tragic Incident at Vancouver Street Festival. A festive atmosphere turned to horror in Vancouver, Canada, when a vehicle plowed into a crowd of people attending a Filipino street festival. The incident occurred during the annual Pinoy Fiesta, a vibrant celebration of Filipino culture. Witnesses described a chaotic scene as the vehicle suddenly veered off the road and barreled into a group of pedestrians. Authorities have confirmed that at least 8 people were killed and over a dozen injured. The driver of the vehicle is currently in police custody, as an investigation into the incident is underway. Chapter 8. Ethiopia nears IMF loan review agreement. Ethiopia is on the cusp of securing a financial lifeline as it nears an agreement with the International Monetary Fund for the completion of a crucial loan program review. The IMF loan program, initiated in 2021, aims to support Ethiopia's economic reform efforts and help stabilize its struggling economy. The successful completion of the review would pave the way for the disbursement of a significant tranche of funds. The IMF has commended Ethiopia's progress on implementing key economic reforms. The anticipated agreement signals growing confidence in Ethiopia's economic trajectory and its commitment to addressing the challenges it faces. Chapter 9. China's influence at UN Human Rights Council scrutinized. A new report by Human Rights Watch has raised concerns about China's growing influence within the United Nations Human Rights Council. The report alleges that China has been systematically working to undermine the UNHRC's independence and shield itself and its allies from scrutiny. One key tactic is China's alleged use of NGOs with ties to the Chinese government to promote its agenda within the UNHRC. The report also raises concerns about China's influence over the selection of UNHRC experts and special rapporteurs. The findings have sparked calls for greater transparency and accountability within the UNHRC. That's it for this week's roundup of significant global developments. It's more crucial than ever to stay informed about these underreported events and to engage in thoughtful discussions about their implications. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth news coverage. See you next time.